Let's say you're a crypto network, a crypto project. If you got marketing people, you want to deploy them, you want to do some marketing. You're thinking the top of the funnel stuff, but you got to think about retention, because crypto projects live and die by the loyalty people feel towards the project, isn't it? The token. The thing is, the marketplace that you're entering into, the holder, the token holder, considers themselves a degenerate gambler. Jokingly, if you hear them talk about themselves, they consider themselves Degens. And at best, they consider themselves cold, detached, mechanically minded investors. So how much emotion can you actually get out of this person? How much loyalty can you expect out of this person? What I've discovered is that there is an emotional lever you can pull, but it's contingent upon you getting the foundation set, and the foundation has to be structural loyalty. This video is about setting that up and eventually getting access to emotional loyalty. We are Dropkick Copy Olympic level direct response marketers, World Federation champions. Our oversight translates well to all levels of the funnel, but it's the bottom of the funnel where retention happens that concerns us the most. There's a link in the description box below. You can watch my partner interview our past clients, but first, watch the rest of this video. Just to give you some background to why I'm doing this video, there's a new L2 network called Mega ETH launching. I heard about it and I thought it'd be fascinating to explore how crypto founders, crypto marketers, developers, in this niche, how they think about retention. We as marketers, we're all about retention, us at Dropkick Copy, and I thought, well, crypto projects, they live and die on the actual, how retention plays out, how effective your retention is. And it's fintech, so it's very complex. That's why I'm making these videos. I hope in this video you walk away with a sense of how you can diagnose the state of your loyalty, what the differences are in loyalty between a crypto app versus a Saas app or traditional finance, and also like the type of toolkit you need in order to implement this thing called loyalty, because it's very abstract until you actually put it down into folders and files that you and frameworks that you're designing things around. So let's get into that in this video. Like I said, crypto has the same problems as a SaaS app. There is churn. Within the first 90 days, the stats show it's difficult to keep it. People are playing around with the tool, moving things around and then leaving. It's got the same problems, and the solution is something to do with the comms, something to do with the UX, and removing friction, all that stuff. Crypto has this added problem of the fact that it's really easy for the users to move funds around. In fact, they're incentivized to do it. They're hunting yield, they're hunting opportunity. And the nature of the space, the wallets that you hold your tokens in, that you make swaps with, the way you interact with these apps is through a wallet, and the wallets are designed to be frictionless, decentralized. It's not like TradFi where you can't just park your money in and take it out at any given moment, any time of the day. With DeFi, you can. So people are willing to move fast and leave you at the drop of a dime. So you're entering a kind of adversarial environment. So you have to make it hard for them to leave. That's what loyalty looks like on crypto. It has to be hard for them to leave. Hard for them to leave, not in an inconvenient way, but like using your app, using your network should be so easy and streamlined and integrated with their lives that switching over to somebody else would incur some sort of a cost, and they don't want to do it. They'd rather just stick with you. You have to kind of create that sentiment. Okay, but in a very kind of practical way. So you're going to be focusing a lot on UX design, tokenomics, as well as comms, the narrative around your project, and keeping sentiment at the right level, at the right place. That's how you're going to get the loyalty that you're looking for. So you can diagnose, you can self-diagnose. One of the ways you can do this is ask yourself certain interesting questions. Like, for example, assume you're running a network, a crypto network or a crypto project or whatever it is, right? Ask yourself questions like, for example, for my token holders, first-time purchasers of my token, is it immediately clear to them what they should do next? And can they explain it back to me? Do they know what they need to do next and why it's the right thing to do? Can they articulate that? Maybe it's not been presented to them somewhere. How do they even know? Now the question, would your first-time token holders be able to make sense of the health of their position? Are they in a good place or a bad place financially? Right? Is there a way that information is presented to them and can they make sense of it, or is it highly technical? Do they need to be an expert in your particular project, or do they need to have a broad sense of what DeFi terminology is? Can that be made simpler? You got to ask yourself these types of questions. Or what about this? For your token holders, what is the first thing likely to break for them as they're interacting with you and your app or whatever? Once it breaks, what is your response within the first 60 minutes? Do you have a response plan? Do you know this information? See, when you're asking these questions, you can diagnose the state of your loyalty because it indicates where there might be holes in your game. And it's your job to plug these holes. Otherwise, you will not have any type of loyalty. They're looking to flee. You know, they're looking to move their money, and they can move their money fast out to the next network, the next app. All right, so these are the type of questions you need to be asking. Now, these things help you understand where you're at with your structural loyalty. Have you implemented it well? Right? Is it in their minds? Is switching a problem? Will it be difficult? You know, how do you say? Would they incur some sort of a cost, an opportunity cost, convenience cost by switching? You've got that. If you got them thinking there is a cost, then structural loyalty is working. And I'm not saying to just focus on structural loyalty and transactional loyalty alone. Transactional loyalty is like how much they're earning from dealing with you. Those are the main, that's your bread and butter as a crypto project. Emotional loyalty, you can't rely on it too much because of the nature of the user, degenerate gamblers and whatnot. However, you do kind of want to do something about that. You want to get them feeling something towards you. All right, so investing in creating a bond, an emotional bond, an emotional sentiments towards you will keep them staying with you when things go wrong. It makes your user base more resilient, because token prices go up and down, DAO proposals get passed that people don't like, apps get hacked. What keeps people holding the token is some sort of belief, right? Sometimes people are just hoping it goes up, somebody else is a sucker and they buy the token, but sometimes people really still believe in the team. Recently, I mean, the date Zcash, the whole developer team quit, right? The price crashed. Some people are still holding Zcash though, even though the entire developer team quit. What is that? That seems to be emotional loyalty. They believe in the whole ethos of Zcash. So investing in it is smart, it's useful. They'll spend with you more, they'll advocate for you, right? And they'll stick around longer. It's just that you can't get to emotional loyalty unless you've got your basic transactional loyalty in place and structural loyalty in place. So it's loyalty in general, but there's layers, right? So the transactional layer, at the transactional layer, the token holder will be thinking things like, or hoping to feel things like, I can buy your token, I can park it somewhere and get some sort of yield and get access to some sort of upside merely by taking a risk, taking a chance on your project. And it's a safe place to park my money, my funds. It's transactional. Other networks, other apps can offer them the same thing, right? So there's no moat there. Just like there's no moat on loyalty points and rewards. To tap the structural layer of your relationship, right? Structural layer of loyalty, you want to get your token holders saying things like, I like using the dashboard, I can see the fees clearly, I know the risks, I have a sense of assurance about the risks. If there's a problem, help is reachable. I've read the comms, the vision makes sense. I understand what the team is doing, what they're doing next. I know what to expect. That makes you nice to deal with, right? Your competitor who isn't able to provide that for them will not be nice to deal with. They'd rather just stick with you, right? It sounds simple, but there's a lot that goes into it, right? And you'll find out later. It's my belief that structural loyalty is where you can really where you need to spend most of your time, getting that right. Once that's in place, you can go into the emotional layer of the whole thing. And so the emotional layer, like I said, there is a lever you can tap. I've explained this in another video, but the real lever you can tap is the lever that's got to do with assurance, feeling trust and safety, their risk averseness. Because think about it, even a gremlin goblin like Gollum, he used to chase the One Ring, but he used to call it his precious, and he was very scared of losing it. So as much as these people like to say they're emotionless, they have an emotion. They're fearful of losing their funds. So you have to assure them. That's the emotional lever you want to pull. You want to create a sense of care, show that you care, assure them, care about their well-being, be forward-thinking and positive, right? give them things to aim at, show them what success looks like, right? If you think about it, once people park funds, a basic person like myself, I'll park, you park your money in a bank and just trust that it sits there, and you want to come back years later and say, I made more money, right? You want to set it and forget it and be at peace. So that the bank's assurance of peace is important. And even if you're like a gambler, right? Even if you park your money somewhere, you get this itchy feeling of wanting to do something else. You want to make another bag, right? You want to lean into that too, that feeling of wanting to win and be successful and know what's next and what success looks like, right? So you want to help people make decisions about where next to park their liquidity to, what else to do with their tokens. Yeah, that's the emotion you want to lean into, right? So there is no blind loyalty here. You got to feed the greed kind of thing. Quell the fear and feed the greed, basically. That's the emotion. There's emotional loyalty you can tap into there. That's what I believe. Let's talk about what the marketer's role is here. So the marketer needs to map out the journey. Just like a Saas app, we need to know who these people are, set them up as cohorts. We need to have a time, an epoch, say like 30 days, 90 days. 90 days is the standard. We want to know what happens, what do they do, what happens to them in the first 90 days of interacting with you, buying your token, whatnot, right? And there needs to be milestones, targets. You need to get them to do X, Y, and Z, because by doing X, Y, and Z, you're ensuring that structural loyalty gets fixed in place somehow. It's my view that the marketers should take ownership. Whoever's running your marketing, they need to take ownership of this, right? Because this is a multidisciplinary affair. Somebody needs to liaise between the UX people, the product design people, the finance people, the legal team, etc., to make sure everybody's on the same page. Because to implement loyalty requires everybody getting involved and tweaking things and making adjustments and stuff in each of their little domains. All for the purpose of getting loyalty in place, right? Getting loyalty to happen. The marketer is going to project manage this whole thing. That's what I feel they should do. The marketer is also the person that ties it all back to the top of the funnel. Because the marketer, the marketing mind, whoever's running your marketing, is the person that brought traffic in, down to the funnel, and that got people to buy your token, right? So they are the connector. They connect everything back. So they should take ownership. This is what I feel. But practically speaking, what does the marketer as a project manager actually do here? Well, you're basically building, you got to build a toolkit is what I feel. You got to have folders ready, documents ready, decks ready. You got to have things mapped out. You want to know what your automations are. You want to have that mapped out. You want to have a quarterly report that goes out to the institutional liquidity providers. You want to have that in place, designed. You want to have dashboards designed, so there's a visual component there. There's also scheduling and planning required. So you want to have maybe an Excel spreadsheet set up, right? So all of these docs, it's just docs and docs and docs, are going to help people understand what to do next, what to implement. And also you're going to have places where you can draw in data and store it for review, so that which speaks to reporting, because later you do have to report on your success or failure, the success or failure of your loyalty efforts, right? That is what the marketer as project manager of loyalty in a crypto project is going to be doing. It can include, the toolkit will include obviously even emails, right? And emails specifically written with the tone you want, with the agenda you're trying to push, right? You're trying to control the narrative, right? So all of this is serving towards creating structural loyalty. You're going to prioritize structural loyalty, implementing that. And once you feel you've got that dialed in as a marketer, then you can start trying to tweak things to create this emotional loyalty, right? So that's a comms issue. It's got to do with labeling and what you say to people when and how you treat them. And there's there's protocols to follow. You can set all that in place after the structural loyalty is set in place. And the marketer needs to track the cohorts and design for the cohorts, right? Because the marketer is the one that created comms that attracted retail token holders, liquidity providers, developers, right? Sometimes the developers will work with you because of your incentive program. What is that like? So the marketer is like liaising between everybody, all the cohorts, and figuring what they want and what, designing milestones for them right? The milestone for a retail holder in the first 90 days will be different from the milestones for a developer. The market is in charge of all of that. So that's about it. I hope that makes sense. Emotional loyalty is a thing. It's a lever you can pull. It's just that you need to manage your expectations. People aren't going to be loyal to you like they're loyal to some other type of brand. I don't know, give me a name, Labubu's or whatever, right? These are cold, calculated people. They consider themselves gamblers, degenerates. They're trying to outsmart the system and they're trying to outsmart you too, right? So how much loyalty can you expect? Nevertheless, it is there. They're loyal to themselves. They're loyal to their money. They fear losing their money. You can tap all that. You need to reassure them and be caring about them and show that you're sincere and earn their trust. That's really what it is. Even if you can't trust them, they need to trust you. That's what's going to keep you keep that liquidity on your platform, right? Yeah, that's about it. There are other videos I've made on this subject, exploring it from different angles. Check that out on my channel. Till the next one, take it easy.